Alright guys, welcome to Red Cup number 2 of July. My name is Counterfeit, joined by your friend and mine, live from Denmark, Deedless. We've got 8 teams playing today for the honour of being called the very best.
Oh yeah, Counterfeit, and you know what? I'm sure it will be an interesting tournament, with 50% of it being Japanese squads. They are certainly looking to pick up yet another victory.
Makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. The reason we are live at this time is, of course, to make life easier for our American, Japanese, Mexican, and apparently South Korean teams as well. As in our first quarterfinal today will be Severe coming as our number 1 seed against Impossible Missions Force, our last week winners.
And then going on just below them, it will be Call of Duties versus Unretired, 2 teams that currently haven't been looking too good as of lately, making mediocre results. Call of Duty coming in from Japan and Unretired coming in from the United States.
Below there, our only Mexican representatives this time round, Armani Exchange, going up against previous tournament finalists, No Players, Only Practice.gg.
And then in the final quarterfinal Counterfeit, it will be an all-Japanese match. Into the Wild versus Engrave on Memory. 2 teams looking to go all the way to the grand final.
Yes, now that business is out of the way, welcome guys in a more informal fashion. Mango YouTube, Hero Gaming Simon of course, and all welcome to the stream. We'll be running through a round of ESL competition, one after the other. Most likely we'll be able to bring you guys a quarterfinal, a semi-final, and then the grand final itself. But sometimes we get delays, so we might be able to bring you just a few more. Dealers, what will we be doing between our ESL matches?
Well, you know what, Counterfeit? We'll probably be doing community matches, or you would be playing a bit of Battle Royale, where I would be pretending to roast you, but in fact, I'm trying to coach you. And that rhymed for some reason. It wasn't my intention.
Well, rhymes, they're just something that comes from the soul. Whiskey Gaming, great kind of score, not in the bracket. We did have some teams, and I'll have a quick look at through here, who signed up for the tournament but didn't check in. So let's have a quick look across and see those teams who did that. So guys, do remember, if you do sign up for the tournament, so we'll just see down here. So I think we had, yes, Great Clan and Score Gaming and Imperial all signed up for the tournament, but they did not check in time. So they wouldn't have made it in. I will just confirm with Paps that there's no way of salvaging those guys, since we would love to see them take part. Let's see, no word from...
Also, hello Mangood Gaming. Counterfeit, if you didn't know, Mangood Gaming really missed you today during the earlier broadcast.
Aww.
Also, they really want to hear Danny McCarty's Particle Waves as background music.
Yes. Well, I put on Particle Waves in the background. Hopefully, there will be played loud enough for you guys to hear. But we'll drop it in next time we go to break, just for you guys. We have got our first game of the day, as Silas mentioned before. It's going to be an all-Japanese way to start off today's play. Into the Wild versus Engrave on Memory. I think our first players are dropping in shortly, so we're to hop across and see which of these 2 teams will claim the first ESL victory of the day.
It's going to be an interesting matchup, Counterfeit, and I surely cannot wait. But obviously, it will be nice to see if Engrave on Memory can do well for themselves right here. It's not often that you see them participate in tournaments where they get very far. If you look back in the past, they've had some okay results going into the 3rd tournament, which is this one. They're coming in as our 2nd seeded team, but in the past they placed stuff like 6th place, 4th place, and 5th place. You haven't really seen them come in much harder than that. Whereas Into the Wild, they usually get within top 3. So obviously you have to give them a lot of respect.
Yes, I think a pretty scary match to be into. Of course, we'll be headed in to Streets for our first game of the day, as you can see. So yes, I've got confirmation from admin Pap on the ESL side, saying that they didn't check those teams we were missing from before. I didn't end up checking in, which I think it might well be too late for now, but if you guys do know any of the players from those teams that did not check in, so that's Score Gaming, Imperial, and who was the other one? And Great Clan, do get them to get in touch with the admins just in case there's a way to sneak them into the tournament. You never know. There were some questions in the ESL chat. Oh, actually, hold the phone there. It looks like there's been a change of venue.
Ooh, interesting.
Sorry about that, guys. So we'll get into the next game in just a second. So what? While we are waiting for the players to arrive, a test for you, Needless. What do the teams win if they come first in today's competition?
A place in my heart. And 100 go for points. And
there's more.
$100.
Gosh.
And it's not British dollars either.
Not even British dollars.
Nope, it is good
Canadian
dollars. No, Zimbabwean dollars. The good old Zimbabwean dollars. Nope, it is American dollars. Join the spectate. Counterfeit. Wait, you are in the spectate.
I've always been here.
Impressive.
Well, guys, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit for Into the Wild and Engrave on Memory to make it in here. So, as was requested before, we're going to chuck a little bit of Particle Waves and give you guys something to listen to while we wait for that first ESL match to begin. We'll be back in just a few moments. Of course, you can see the lobby. So, as soon as the players are ready to go, we shall be back and kicking off our official ESL competition. Let's get things kicked off in ESL action as we head on to the streets. Into the Wild versus Engrave on Memory, our all-Japanese first round of ESL action.
Oh, Counterfeit, I love me a good old streets. It's always a map where you either see a lot of action or the teams take it slow and steady and play strategic. And you know what? I think we're seeing a lot of action. The teams are just hammering at each other in the middle, trying to get control over that middle house.
Oh boy, it's tough to find anyone who's staying up long enough to get a camera on them. Yeah, these two teams just slamming full force into each other. Saku Tombo, 3-1 so far, has been doing some great work with that Cog V, able to escape up the stairs. One of the very few first people who survived long enough to do so.
And right now, Counterfeit, this entire game is dominated by Engrave on Memory. They nearly have a 10-kill lead going out of the first minute. They're getting bombers and they're getting airstrikes already. So this is looking like a very easy victory for them already. And Into the Wild, maybe if they try to pull back and they try to play it more defensively, it would work better. Because right now they're just playing to the strengths of Engrave on Memory, where Engrave on Memory, they just want to fight and they continually push into the middle and get shut down by guys like Saku.
It's certainly inviting teams to show off their skill when you go face to face. No strategic thought, just the lust for extra points as fast as possible. An absolute bloodbath in the center of the map. Let's find those big hitters. Is Sophia from the Engrave on Memory side, 10-2 so far, just absolutely decimating the opposition with that DBS shotgun.
But now Into the Wild, they're starting to make moves towards getting back into this game. Counterfeit, it's no longer a 10-kill lead for Engrave on Memory, so as long as Into the Wild they can find these kills and make sure it's a balanced amount that they get in so that they don't give up as many deaths, then it should be a fine path for them to making that comeback. But right now, Engrave on Memory, they have complete control over the map, and a lot of that comes from the military support that they have. They have 8 compared to the 1 of Into the Wild.
The Engrave on Memory team, you're right, headed up by Sakutombo here, 8-5 so far. They've had an amazing start to the game, but all credit to Into the Wild. They've managed to recover surprisingly well. And while it's still looking heavily favored towards the red squad, it's not a done deal quite yet.
I know it's far from so. Into the Wild, they're still hanging on with everything that they can. Counterfeit. So while Engrave on Memory are getting close to 50 kills, Into the Wild, they have a thing or two to say about that.
Not even the halfway mark is reached before Engrave on Memory are threatening to put this one beyond reach. Sophia, the prime player, along with team captain Sakutombo for Engrave on Memory. But for Into the Wild, though, they are picking up some pretty hefty numbers of their own. They've made it to 40 as well, but Engrave on Memory, they are very nearly done.
3 more kills from Engrave on Memory, and they will be done with this first game. Counterfeit. They are looking extremely hot, and if they can keep this up going into game number 2, then it would be amazing, and Engrave on Memory would be the big favorites to win this entire tournament, I believe.
Last kill, where is it going to come from? Engrave on Memory seem to have done everything they need to. Into the Wild, they've got one last chance if they can just keep those kills out of Engrave's hands, but it's not going to happen. Yu gets torn apart. Ooh, excuse me. In a hail of explosions. There we go.
But you know what, Counterfeit? I'm surely looking forward to the next game. While Into the Wild, they did have a bad early game against Engrave on Memory. They did look okay in terms of the explosive kills, and I think that if they can keep up their explosive kills, they have basically 50% more explosive kills than their opposite number. If they can keep that up against Engrave on Memory going into the next game, then they should be able to rack up a lot of kills. Because when you look over at Engrave on Memory, they have a lot of assists kills, meaning that they group up and therefore are more open to being shot down by a grenade.
Well, guys, we're going to get you out onto stream once more before we go officially to break. So, guys, if you use the passkey ESL123, we're just setting up the lobby right now. It will go for, since we were on the streets before, let's go for somewhere slightly different. Deedless. We've got, for our free-for-all, we can go to overtime, we can go to vantage, or maybe even somewhere else.
Let's go to... which map are we not gonna see today, Counterfeit?
Oh gosh, I'm not even sure at this point. All I know is we've definitely seen streets.
Okay, let's go to... I believe we're not gonna see overtime. So let's go to overtime.
So we're free-for-all on overtime. Ooh, let's make sure I've actually got the key in there. There we go. And I think that's all fine. So there you guys go. Apologies for the delay there. Oh, actually, I tell a lie. It looks like before we even get the chance to go into our next game, the teams have been so fast on setting up their next encounter that we'll have to just jump straight on that. Don't worry, guys. We'll get you another chance, of course, as we will between every single match. That's not every game, but every match. That's the best of 3. As soon as it's completed, we'll do our best to get you guys onto stream so you get the chance to join in. MC5 Man of War, you're going to join ESL next time? I'm very glad to hear it. Brian, how is it that you get into play? Let me just grab the details there. So you can sign up through the ESL site, and if you haven't got a team already, then you can go through the ESL Discord and find yourself some teammates there.
Yay! Okay, no. Well, obviously finding mates is always nice. And guys, we would love to see more players participate in the ESL action.
Alright guys, so I think we've got everyone pretty much ready. Wellington Press says, hello, hello. Brian Ralph, you're more than welcome. I hope to see you and your friends taking part in future competition. We'll take a quick micro break while the teams get themselves in position. So we know our second ESL match of the day, or second ESL map of the day, will be Rooftops, and we'll be headed there in just a few moments' time once both Engrave on Memory and Into the Wild are ready. We're back and on to the rooftops.
Wait, we're
EOM.
back? Are we back? Wait, we're back! MC5 action!
You're right, dealers.
Why do you never follow my sketches? Or, I don't know if you can call it a sketch.
Nope, definitely can't. But we'll get ourselves a painting of Annihilation here instead. As EOM, they started off things incredibly well in the last game. For Into the Wild, they've got this one last chance to stay in the competition. They cannot afford to have that early game go as disastrously. Into the Wild came back pretty darn well in that last game, but ultimately weren't quite able to catch EOM's ludicrous lead.
Well, right now, once again coming out swinging out of the gates kind of fit, and now this map is completely different to the streets. Last time around, you saw a lot of action in the middle. You saw Engrave on Memory group up as a team in the middle, and they just continually fought against Into the Wild. This time around, you're going to see the two teams, one stay on the top level, the other stay on the bottom level, and you're not going to see too much action. Right now, EOM, they are forcing action upon Into the Wild, but still, it's not as action heavy as game number 1 was.
So you see there, the rest of the EOM team, yes, is lurking in the depths, as Massimo is doing a pretty nice job of lobbing down some extra grenades. Of course, Sophia is going to be the player to watch for EOM, the ace of the EOM squad last time around. Again, back on the heavy damage shotgun, and so far with 5 kills untraded.
And that's a no. Nope. Sophia didn't get it. CeeLo stole that kill. But Into the Wild, we said that they were fighting against EOM in the last game, that they nearly clawed their way back, and now they've more or less done so. Only 2 kills separating the two teams.
See, we've got some support for team captain Sakutombo, but honestly, I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing support for Sophia, who's still currently the strongest player. Will eviscerate Sakai there as 3 more kills fall across to EOM. Into the Wild, nowhere near as far behind as they were in the first game, but still in a tough spot.
Into the Wild are still making good use of those explosive kills. Before we went to the break kind of it, I said Into the Wild they needed to keep up the amount of explosive kills that they got in game number 1, and they're doing that once again, punishing EOM for grouping up and trying to get those assist kills that they are doing so well at getting.
Maswell doing a nice job there of spotting out the recon aircraft. Can go a little bit unnoticed here on this misty realm of the rooftop. Looks like Into the Wild are going to try and move operations down into the lower floors, but this will open up the wonderful world of corridor fighting.
Well, despite it being misty, the teams, they are shooting each other all the time. A bit of luck is not going to keep them away from finding those kills that their hearts desire, counterfeit.
Well, Sophia is currently locked into top place along with Masuo for Into the Wild. Both of them desirous of that fierce competition. As Engrave on Memory, they grab themselves some more kills. We're seeing some strong performances from elsewhere. The team captain Sakutombo, 6 and 3, only 1 kill behind Ace Sophia. But for Gia, Zulu, and Orochi, the other members of the squad, they're all putting in some pretty decent numbers as well.
Oh, they certainly are. And you don't see that on the side of Into the Wild kind of fit. They have their backs against the wall. They have to win this game right here, or else they will be thrown out of the tournament. So while they did a fine job at clawing their way back against the Engrave on Memory lineup, they have now started to drop off a bit. They've lost their steam, and currently they find themselves behind 7 kills. So you need to see guys like Masuo really put up a better number right now, because within the next 2 minutes and 35 seconds, they need to have either equalized the score or gotten themselves to 50 kills. And right now, EOM, they are the team already on the path to 50 kills.
Sakai doing a lovely job there of locking down multiple kills in a row for Into the Wild. Need to see a lot more of that though. They're going to bring this one back. So Katombo providing that long range fast support. Sophia as well. Both of them on the heavy class and pumping out an inordinate amount of damage.
Sophia is looking good, Counterfeit, but Orochi on top of this building, trying to see if they can spot someone with that sniper. Can't quite see if they found someone, but here comes Sia pushing up.
They're trying to get back onto those rooftops. We'll be able to access and land through the snipe onto Sakai, who we saw doing wonderful work with that sniper before. Now Into the Wild don't have that height advantage. They'll have to earn it back the hard way.
Usually, Counterfeit, we say that military support is the way of grabbing control over a game and grabbing control for your team. But right now, we're not seeing EUM grabbing control despite them finding so many kills. So Into the Wild, they're doing a good job at handling UOM and making sure to play to their strength, UM strength that is, but still not allowing them to just develop so many kill streaks that it will hurt ITV.
Well, if Engrave on memory, the blue squad here hailing from Japan, if they win out this round, they will be going through to the semi-finals where they will likely face off against the last tournament finalists. No players, only practice.gg. We have got up in the upper bracket Impossible Missions Force, our last tournament winners, currently working their way through as well. So some heavy hitters for your pleasure here today.
Engrave on memory, however, Counterfeit, they are coming in as our second seeded team, and they're about to take down the 7th seeded team in Into the Wild. Into the Wild, they couldn't go crazy today, they couldn't go wild, and they will fall to Engrave on memory.
That's a solid 10 kill advantage. So if Engrave on memory are going to knock out the no player squad, assuming that they come through from above them in the bracket, they're going to need to put out some serious hurt as well. So we've got some real good numbers here for Engrave on memory. 4 players with 11 kills. Of course, Sophia and Sakutombo with less deaths are going to be contributing a little bit more. For Into the Wild, though, we'll have to say adieu to them, but we shall say hello to all of y'all. For we have a custom game for you guys. Please do come along. ESL 123. So we're going to get that free for all we promised you guys earlier. And hopefully, as you can see on the screen, we'll get to see some trackers taking part in this community game.
Hey Hero Gaming Simon, how are you doing? I can see you are looking at this, or watching the stream rather, and thank you for being so friendly to everyone watching the stream as well. Of course, guys and gals, welcome to the stream. We hope that you will enjoy all of the action that we have to showcase here tonight.
So Hero Gaming Simon, one of our trusty moderators, making sure everything goes all nice and wonderful. So, if you guys do catch ESL admin Pap in the chat, do send them our love for making sure everything's working behind the scenes. But yes, Midday Gaming, I definitely recommend you guys, where there was some problems with some sign-ups today, definitely file the tickets across. I imagine the admins have got quite a lot on their plate right now with the tournament being underway. I can only apologise as much as I can for not being able to play today. I know that's a big bummer. I hope you guys will have the chance to come back tomorrow and play in that other iOS tournament since you weren't able to play today. Sakutama's actually in the chat. GG. Alright, Frenzy, aloha. Welcome, welcome. Let's see if we can just find a few more people.
Well, guys, come play with us. Wait, Counterfeit. I told you to make a freefall on overtime.
Honestly, I thought I did. But turns out, I didn't.
No, you betrayed my trust. I trusted you.
Well, metagaming, you may well be right about that. As I said, we're not admins, so that's why we don't tend to involve ourselves in admin conversations. Apologies for any of the rest of the guys who are just confused as to what the heck we are talking about. We're having a bit of a conversation with one of the players who unfortunately didn't get to play today because of it looks like the sign-up didn't come through properly. But hopefully it will be figured out what exactly will happen there, so it won't happen again in the future. But now, guys, enjoy the game on stream. You can still use the passkey ESL123 all the way through the break, and we shall be back on the other side with either another ESL match or more community action. Booyah! Thank you guys very much for playing in the free-for-all. So, as Zealous mentioned before, we'll do community games, but we'll also be doing a little bit of Battle Royale. If you'd like to play with me on stream in the Battle Royale at the moment, the best way to do that is to queue up for Battle Royale right now, and I'll queue up in a few seconds. Because of the stream delay, that will mean we'll go in at roughly the same time and hopefully end up in the same game together. Alright, let's go. So, Daedalus.
Am I Coach Daedalus today? Am I cosplaying as that again?
Only if you manage to change your gimmick from being the abusive coach to the supportive coach. Those are my conditions.
Sure, let me try and be supportive.
Excellent.
Good job at jumping over the ledge. Oh, good job, Peter. You're being so athletic today.
I think you could say I have a legendary performance.
I think it's quite impressive how much you're working out. You're also sprinting, kind of fit. Your form must be top dollar.
You didn't even notice my legendary joke. Jeez.
I'm so sorry. I'm a bad coach.
You're not just my MC5 coach. You're my humor coach. And you feedback all of my horrible puns. Which ones cause you to curl up and die inside?
I thought that was what Carson you did to me.
I never knew.
Anyway, so kind of fit. Which weapon are we looking for?
Just that. I'm just going to try and land on the table. I think you just sort of slide off.
Land on the table. Oh, we have a code.
Oh, we do. Well,
we do indeed. I believe it is between Armani Exchange and Engrave on Memory.
Oh wow! So, if that's the case,
so we'll probably be able to stream both semi-finals today.
I think that's entirely possible. So, guys, that's a turn up for the books. So, last time's finalists have already been knocked out in their first round of competition. Neat. This means we're definitely going to be seeing at least somebody new taking to the big best of 5 stage.
Crazy.
Exactly so. Let's have a quick check into the history of Armani Exchange. Well, I say history. There actually isn't a lot to say. For they are a team who have been formed only today, headed up by team owner Terran G. And hailing from Mexico, perhaps they will be enough to give their opposite numbers Engrave on Memory a few surprises as well.
Well, let's cross our fingers. But obviously, we do need to see everyone actually join the lobby before we can see some ESL action.
So guys, we'll take a micro break while we wait for those players to arrive, but when we do, our first ESL semi-final of the day will be underway. Armani Exchange getting the 2-0 victory over NoPlayersOnlyPractice.gg, our previous tournament finalists off stream. Into the Wild, of course, being knocked out by Engrave on Memory, who will be playing in the blue for this opening semi-final match. We'll see you guys in a few moments' time with more ESL action. Our first semi-final kicks off here on Scramble. Engrave on Memory, we've seen what they are capable of. Sophia, Sakutombo, and the rest of the EOM squad all pulling out some pretty darn solid performances for Arm, or they will be seeing them.
On the exchange.
Yeah. They're going to be exchanging their position from the south side of the battlefield on to the east, but Sakutombo will get the first hit.
Ooh. Sakutombo. One of the big performing members for Engrave on Memory in the last series kind of bit. So hopefully they can transition their skills into this one as well. For now, the two teams, they are completely evenly matched. One finding a kill, the other one finding another one within seconds. So right now, it's 5-5, and I don't think anyone will have the lead going out of the first minutes.
Oh boy, yeah, it's really, really big swings as Maya doing some nice jobs there. Sakutombo, of course, team captain for EOM, trying to fight things out just outside the command center. We can see the shotgun blasts flinging themselves back and forth across this divided up scramble battlefield. Sophia gets another hit in, but it's incredibly even in these opening minute and a half.
I really love what we're seeing, kind of it. Two teams be as evenly matched as you could imagine, and to have it on a map like Scramble that really allows you to stand on each side of the map and just go ham at each other. It's really a pleasure to watch this game.
And one of the players who is performing the most spectacularly is Armani Exchange captain Terran G. Remember, guys, this team is new as of this tournament, but with their team captain pulling off a performance like this, who knows how far they could go.
Engrave on Memory can stick together and get a lot of success once again. In series number 1, they were able to get a lot of assists from working together and always staying close. And once again, that is happening here in the series. Armani Exchange, they are doing a bit better job at killing the Engrave on Memory before they can get close to them. But still, Engrave on Memory, stick together and you will find success.
Sophia, we noted before as the big ace player for Engrave on Memory, has been struggling so far in this game. 7 kills is impressive, but 7 deaths means all they're really doing is accelerating the end of the game. Gia comes in from the back to get a couple of kills for themselves. That's a difference of 4 kills as 4 minutes remain.
Well, kind of it. It's gonna come down to a matter of like single kill. I truly believe so. But oh no, Armani Exchange, they're starting to lose their members. That's not what you want to see here in this semi-final. But Terran G, not being dissuaded by that fact, still finding kills and still making sure that Armani Exchange, they can stay in the lead.
I think as long as the Armani Exchange have got their captain Terran G performing some truly ludicrous shots with that BSW. You can see backup from the other Armani members to try and make sure there's no chance of their sniper getting flanked or having anyone approach from outside of that scope.
Terran G, what a scoreline, kind of a 12-2. That is not something I would be able to do.
I don't think it's something that many people would be able to do at all. You know, we're talking about this kind of level here. While these tournaments are free to sign up and play in, we see players who've been playing MC5 for a really long time. And while that doesn't guarantee success, in some cases, it can provide extraordinary performances.
Well, Terran G is one of those veteran players, kind of it, so obviously helping to lead the way here for Armani Exchange. They are getting so much help and so much experience from their team captain of Terran G.
Ahead by 8, make that 9 as we're coming up to 2 minutes remaining. Armani Exchange, honestly, I'm not sure they're missing out too much from these multiple disconnects they're suffering from right now. But there is the issue, as we talked about before, Terran G might be an amazing sniper, but a sniper is only as good as those who are covering their flank and making sure that they do not get caught off guard.
Absolutely true. And right now, that is exalted on that commander class kind of it. And while time is running out, there's still 2 minutes for Engraven Memory to catch back up against Armani Exchange. So Armani Exchange, the way that they need to move forward right now is to just exchange every single death with at least 1 or 2 kills. That's the way that you keep this game balanced and that you don't fall behind against Engrave on memory, despite you being this far behind in terms of a roster.
Great for memory, they're impressed in their first series, but that is the way of these tournaments. As much as your opponents from each round will be falling by the wayside, suffering the same fate, it's oh so easy. We're still in the best of 3 stages. Best of 5 is reserved, of course, for our grand final itself, where the number 1 team will be decided. Engrave on memory, I just don't... Well, while they have pretty much stopped Arm in their tracks, they don't seem to be getting it close enough with the time remaining.
But 5 more kills kind of fitting. Engrave on memory, they are getting close. But time is really running out now. 35 seconds. They need to find every kill that they can. And Armani Exchange, they aren't spawning that fast. So I think they would be able to run out of time right here.
We'll keep our eyes, of course, on Terran G, who has been the points provider for Armani Exchange, who are now setting themselves up very cannily in the corner here where they can control the access as Maya does a nice double.
Maya, that is so important, Confit. Finding 2 kills, that sealed the deal and made sure that Armani Exchange, they would win the first game here of this semi-final.
Still, though, it's the performance from Terran G, I think, that we're going to be taking forward into game number 2. As Engrave on memory, find that the competition only hots up as you get further into the tournament. Armani Exchange, fresh off knocking out last week's finalists. No players, only practice.gg, which is quite a mouthful. They've only got 1 more game to win, do Armani Exchange, and they'll be in the finals. We shall find out what happens in 7 minutes or less when our ESL competition returns. Holla, holla, holla. ARM, they've got that first round victory. Now just need one more to head to the finals. Armani Exchange, they managed to 2-0 the previous tournament's finalists. No players, only practice.gg can engrave on memory. Keep them from doing the same 2 matches in a row.
Let's see what's gonna happen. Engrave on memory, they've done a good job at staying together as a team so far in the 2 series that we've seen them play. But on Exchange, they've been good at fighting as well, and especially on maps which allows them to go for long range fighting. But this map is not the same. Right here on Advantage, it's more about matching up, grouping up, and fighting in medium to close range combat. And right now, on Exchange, apparently they are flourishing in that environment as well.
Well, Engrave on memory started things off incredibly well, but you're right. The action has become more or less constricted to that center of the map. None of those big sight lines over to the far right-hand side of the map to make use of. Engrave on memory get a couple of more big hits in. It's team captain Sakatombo who's got the best score in the game right now.
Welcome to the stream, Naps. I hope you enjoy the broadcast. Also, hi, apparently Plan B Counterfeit is having a house party. Well, thank you for coming by, and nevertheless, Plan B, well, we're having a party here on the broadcast as well. Engrave on Memory and Armani Exchange, they are having quite a party of their own.
Engrave, they want to party one more time. If they manage to win this game, they'll stay in the tournament and potentially have a chance to get through to the finals today. Engrave doing a real nice job right now. Sakatombo can't get through that shield, so we'll jump over, landing in behind. Beats will be more than happy to receive, as Sophia does some nice work dropping down from above to keep EOM's points flowing.
Engrave on Memory Counterfeit, if you told me that they lost game number 1, I would not believe it with the way that this game is going right now. They are making sure to stay competitive and stay even against them on Exchange. And I think we could be going all the way to a game number 3. We could be going to a conversion.
Sure as heck is looking that way. Sakatombo is still continuing to do some real nice work. Celine as well has been doing it some heavy numbers. Even Orochi down there in 4th place, 3-1. Honestly, yeah, you're right. It's a totally different team between game 1 and 2. And for Armani, yeah, where are those big hitters from before? Where's Terran G's incredible performance? Nowhere to be seen.
Terran G right now sitting at 2-6, and with that sniper not being able to land any single shot as he goes down right there. Terran G and Celine doing whatever they can for their team, but right now Celine is the one looking way better. Shia comes out with that sawed-off shotgun, and the commander class not able to find a kill, but places down some explosive to come in handy for later.
Nabs asking the question on Twitch, will there be a friend battle before the stream ends? Absolutely. Between every round of ESL competition, we will endeavour to get you guys onto stream for a community game. It's looking like this match, though, is not done.
Are you sure, Counterfeit? Because right now in Engrave on Memory, they need 9 more kills. Armani Exchange, they need 30, so I think this match is more or less safe to say over.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable position to operate from. And the EOM, you know, they've been performing the same way that Armani did in the previous game, just getting some crazy big numbers. As we see behind this reception desk here, it's a very popular spot for our ESL players to operate out from. Very good sight lines in the interior of Vantage, but pretty decent cover as well.
Counterfeit not only have Engrave on Memory been deadly, but they've also been good shots here in this second game of the semi-final. Engrave on Memory sitting at 12 headshots so far compared to the 2 of Armani Exchange. So these guys, they are coming out and really showing how to land them shots.
Last shots will be forthcoming momentarily. Sakutombo, Celine, and Sophia all doing some real impressive stuff. And with that, yeah, Armani Exchange, they take their first loss of the tournament. Engraved on memory, they're finding some of that fire they will need to make it through to the finals today. Again, Sakutombo, team captain, up there at the top along with Celine, almost the same scoreline. Real impressive stuff. And that means that we will be seeing a 3-game series for the first time in today's competition. Who shall survive and go to the finals? Will it be Armani Exchange or Engrave on Memory? Find out after the break. Sooner or later, dealers, we'll all just be writing on a wall. This game will determine if one of these teams will become engraved on memory.
Okay. Man, that was dark. That was a dark intro.
We are in semi-final game number 3 for Engrave on Memory and Armani Exchange. Both of them have had dominating games so far, but it all comes down to this final encounter, which will stand tall and which team will be made to fall all so small.
Well, you say, Counterfeit, that the two teams, they have had dominating performances. I would argue that in game number 1, where Armani Exchange they won, it was way closer than game number 2, where Engrave on Memory they won. Engrave on Memory, they had like a 20 kill lead when they won. Armani Exchange, they only had like 5. So if Engrave on Memory, they can once again get into gear and find a game where they can completely dominate their opposition, then I think it should be safe to say that they would be the winners.
This first minute is done. Engrave on Memory and Armani Exchange, they are dead even between the two of them. Celine, of course, providing the dead, and Exalted providing the even. 3-3 so far, but it's been an incredibly close game, and this is what we hope to see in the later rounds of the tournament.
Also, everyone, we promised that we would stream the top semifinals. Well, I believe that is still going to be the case, but just to inform you all, Impossible Missions Force and Call of Duties, the team from South Korea and the team from Japan, are currently battling in the top semifinals, so we'll probably join that in game number 2 or game number 3.
I'll be very excited to see. Certainly, since we've got a new challenger for Impossible Missions Force, if they do make it past that semi-final for Armani Exchange, they're starting to build back up once again. Team captain Terran G on the recon has been putting in some pretty heavy shots so far.
Terran G didn't look too hot in game number 2, but looking way better here in game number 3. And the Armani Exchange, they certainly need the experience and the leadership that Terran G can bring to the table. Whenever Terran G does well, Armani Exchange does do well.
You made that point before about Engrave on Memory's first when you're right, it was entirely based on Terran G's performance with a little bit of backup from their friends, but not definitive by any means. As we're coming close to 4 minutes remaining, the two teams locked in a deadly embrace, barely straying more than 1 point from each other all the way through this game.
But now Armani Exchange, they're starting to drop members, Counterfeit, and this is not what you want to see from them. We saw it in game number 1, but they were further ahead. They were in the lead, and now they're not that. So, Counterfeit, it's all just falling apart for Armani Exchange.
Engrave on Memory, they are not wasting a moment. They wipe Armani Exchange off the map entirely, and that's a very rare thing because the spawn times are pretty short in MC5. Nabs only on Twitch thinks the red team are going to win. Well, that would have been a good prediction a few minutes ago, but as Dealer says, the missing player from Armani Exchange could be enough to tip the scales over entirely.
And it's unfortunate because Terran G has had a good game, but even Terran G can't carry in the entirety of their team. So Terran G, while doing well, is not enough to perform miracles for Armani Exchange.
Behind by 9 with 3 minutes left in play. This last game for a place in the finals and a chance at those $100 from Armani Exchange. I mean, we've seen teams of 3 win out against 5 before, but that does not seem to be on the cards right now. Engrave on Memory keeping up the pressure.
And it's looking like Engrave on Memory will move into the grand final. There they can meet either the Impossible Missions Force or Call of Duties. Armani Exchange, they're now down to 3 members. It feels like they've given up. Engrave on Memory, they need 4 more kills, and Shia has a thing or two to say about that. 14 kills so far.
Yeah, real impressive stuff. We're seeing a real re-emergence of the heavy, I think perhaps as an answer to the commander, able to punch through some of that AoE damage through that shield, and it locked down a lot of kills in a hurry. Nabs only and the rest of you guys, it's looking like we're going to have our next community game in just a few moments, unless Armani, who seems to be showing very few signs of it, this last kill coming in, and Terran G, the Titan of Armani, will fall. Engrave on Memory are going to the finals.
Well played by Engrave on Memory. They've looked good in the first series of today. They've looked good in the second series as well. In the games that they won, and even in the game that they lost, they looked all right as well, kind of fit. So I truly believe that whoever is going to meet Engrave on Memory in the grand final will have one hell of a task ahead of them.
Shout out, of course, to Gia, top performing player in that last game, as well as Celine for the Engrave on Memory score. But guys, let's get you back onto stream once again. ESL 1, 2, 3. Whether you're watching on Twitch, Mob Crush, YouTube, or Facebook, this is your opportunity to take center stage if you are an iOS player. So come and join us, and perhaps, just perhaps, you'll make some friendos you can be playing in the next round of ESL competition with.
Oh, Murder Blitz, I'm happy to hear that the stream is not loading for you. Have you tried reloading your webpage? That might help you a bit. Sometimes that is all that you need to do.
Yes, it's most unfortunate, Murder Blitz. Well, I suppose you probably can't hear us if the stream hasn't loaded.
That's a good point, kind of it. That's a very good point.
We'll send a little message across to them while we get this game going. Nabs Only, you're an Android. Oh, well, Nabs Only, I'm afraid you just missed our bi-weekly... Is that the right word? Bi-weekly? Once every 2 week Android competition a little bit earlier today. Yeah. We won't have another one for a couple of weeks.
Well, 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, bi-weekly is every second week. But yeah, I guess it's in 2 weeks' time that we have another one, because we don't have one next week, and therefore there's going to go another week. So I'm not very good at math. I believe it's in 2 weeks. Also, Hero Gaming Simon, delicious water. Thank you.
What a great idea. Stay hydrated, guys, for we've got plenty more ESL. MC5 action coming your way. If we can't get into the next semi-finals, we'll go straight into the finals themselves. But for now, it's all about you guys. Show us what you're made of live on stream, and we'll see you in 7 minutes or less, with perhaps some delicious water. We promised and we delivered. We are in the second semi-finals to see who will be going up to take that second grand final spot. Impossible Missions Force, last week's grand finals winners and eventual champions, have already got one game in this series against Call of Duties. Will they do it again and make their journey for the semis a clean 2 games?
Well, it's looking like COD, they have something to say about that kind of it. They come out, swinging out of the gates, finding 3 kills to begin with. So IMF, they have their work cut out for them.
Let's take a look at how the teams are approaching this game. It's looking like we've got Impossible Missions Force representing South Korea, trying to control the center of the map, but they're doing it from downstairs, which means they have got the opportunity to chuck some grenades up and hit the Call of Duty's players through the floor. We'll call those floor bangs or wall bangs when it's done through a wall. Can be very, very effective and can sometimes make the high ground a bit of a liability.
Wait, did you just say that a floorboard is a wall? I guess you're
Floor
right.
bang.
I guess you're right in some sense. It's just like what a horizontal wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you're not completely wrong. Well,
No, that's called being right.
Well, my mind is officially blown, kind of it. But IMF, they are not blown out of the water. They are in the lead, and they are looking to complete the semi-final in a 2-0 sweep as well, like the bottom one.
It's pretty darn even, but Mostar and Issa, some of the heavy hitters for the Impossible Missions Force, doing some pretty nice work. Let's check in on the other side, though. For the Call of Duties, Ilukane, 4 and 3 so far. No particular standout players for them so far, but an overall solid team performance keeps them competitive.
But it's 15-15 kind of it, so not only competitive, but also even, and TB finds a kill. We'll give them a lead for a short time, but immediately we're back to an even state. Cat JP finds a kill, will immediately go down, and now 28 is fighting, but can't find anyone. Instead, it will be Limit taking down Echo. So Taco. I missed the T.
Well, it's down to a few short breaths between teams. 4 minutes left to play. The team's pretty much on the course to complete the 50 kills required, and the timer at roughly the same time as each other. So we have got the teams with the possibility of changing this frenetic pace they've set up in the early game.
COD, they haven't gotten a lead for themselves, but they have gotten a lot of military support, which could potentially turn into control over this game. Right now, IMF, they're lacking behind that military support, but they are keeping up in terms of kills. So this just goes to show that you don't always get a kill lead and control over a game when you get a lot of military support. Skill is also important.
Monster and the rest of the IMF team, not as far ahead as they might like here. We'll say not as far ahead, not ahead at all. Call of Duty's managing to take themselves the lead. 2889, we can see here as the commander able to soak up a lot of kills and a lot of damage with that commander shield.
Well, IMF, they're only behind by 4 kills, so it's not the end of the world quite yet, kind of it. But COD, they just need 14 more to finish out this game. And they have 2 minutes and 45 seconds to find that. So as long as they keep trading like this, with TB and Iluk finding 2 kills for every 1 kill that they give over to IMF, then this will surely be COD's game.
Yeah, COD looking good here. Iluk managing to grab that last kill in the corner as Call of Duty's accelerate themselves towards that 3rd game. It's looking like we could easily see both semi-finals today go to all 3 games. That just speaks to the level of competition we've got here, how well matched each of these teams are.
Yes, and it's going to be an amazing grand final that we're gonna get no matter who's gonna face Engrave on memory. But right now, COD, they have a thing or two to say about that. They're not letting IMF take them down 2-0. But GG, that's a huge grenade from IMF, finding 2 members right there. But it's not enough as COD, they are still up by 5 kills. Oh, IMF, that's 3 kills in a quick succession. They're catching back up.
It could turn right here at the end. But look, going down actually opens the door for Issa and the rest of IMF to maybe grab away this game at the last second. You can see the grenades. So Ahula here trying to do the floor bang in reverse, send those grenade explosions through the floor. Issa grabs a couple more, but it's only one more to be found. Issa N gets another, but the last second, Call of Duty take the game back.
This game was so close, but in the end, Cat will be the one to find that last kill counterfeit. Cat, an amazing performance, but also Ilug and the rest of the members on the side of COD did very well in performing here against IMF. But you have to say that Isa N, 21 kills, was certainly the top performer from IMF, and you need to keep Isa N under control moving into game number 3, or you're gonna have a hard time.
You compare that scoreline across to anyone from the Call of Duty squad, and it's not even close. But guys, we'll be shortly getting into that third and final game between Call of Duties and IMF. They played their first game off stream, and it went to IMF. For Call of Duties, by a single point, they stay in the competition. This next game determines who will be going through to the finals from the upper half of the bracket. You do not want to miss it, and we'll see you there. Back on conversion, it's time for a decider game. IMF and COD. Only one goes forward. Deedless, if you're going to put down some money, where would you be laying those odds?
Well, probably in my bank account. I really could use more money.
I don't think that's how betting works. But no, never know. Perhaps it changed in the intervening moments.
Counterfeit, I know you're an old man. You probably haven't betted in ages.
I haven't bet on anything in my life.
I'm pretty sure back in your young days, you probably had like a pigeon come and pick up the money.
Well, there's no room for pigeons here on conversion, betting or otherwise. IMF, they've got themselves a solid lead so far, and a lot of that is down to Frenzy's sterling performance.
Yeah, Frenzy comes in and says, "Cuckoo, guys! I'm here. Let me kill you with my trusty old cockpit." Not finding anyone right now, but is just waiting to try and see if he can find someone to kill.
While they wait, the COD squad have got a chance to fight their way back into this game. So far, we're of course looking to see how Iluk does. Pull in some pretty crazy numbers in the previous game, but just like before, this conversion game will be the decider. Engrave on Memory have already earned their place into the grand final, but who shall join them? Let us know, guys.
Kind of it. It is gonna come down to the wire once again, I believe, even though we do have good old Isa and Frenzy saying cuckoo coming in trying to take down COD. I think it's gonna come down to the very last kill once again. It was close in game number 2. It came down to a score of 50-49. This time around, IMF, they're sitting in the lead. Will they give COD the chance to make that comeback? Well, time will only tell. But right now, Isa is certainly saying no with a scoreline of 11-4.
Yeah, we just saw an incredible triple kill coming through from Issa as they turned around with preternatural speed to pick off the Call of Duty's members. 4 minutes and change left on the clock, but IMF, they seem well on their way to securing their place in the grand finals if they keep up this early momentum.
Yeah, well, with Isa and leading the way, I'm sure that this will be them going all the way to the grand final. Naps saying good luck to COD team. Well, Naps, they could surely use that luck right now. Isa and Frenzy, they are taking them down a notch. And right now, with a 10 kill lead and 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go, IMF, they have plenty of time to develop upon this lead.
So 2C over on Twitch, whose name I'm going to have to definitely guess at how to say, welcome to the stream. We are in a decider game between IMF and Call of Duty for a place in the Grand Finals. A chance to play for $100. Every week in weekly competition, we have 3 different tournaments. On iOS, they give away $100 or €100 depending on where they are primarily based. And on Android and PC, we have ourselves, I believe it's 7,000 credits for each one as well.
But you know what, kind of it. For this tournament, however, IMF, they are about to meet up against Engrave on Memory in the Grand Final. IMF, they need 3 more kills, so our Grand Final ought to be a Republic of Korea versus Japan, Japanese squad. And that's going to be the Grand Final, as I butchered that country's name. But nevertheless, IMF not making it as close, and they take down COD quite convincingly.
Yeah, not too much to say there, but IMF certainly create quite the statement for the competition itself. There's 2 heavy hitters from Frenzy, and of course, long-term heavy hitter Issa N. Both doing incredible stuff. But let's get you guys back onto stream once again. There's a very good chance we'll have the finals for you at the other side of this community match. So get here as quick as you can. Carlos Gallardo, no memes? No memes? How will we do without our memes? An upsetting proposition.
I need my memes, or else I will not be able to... Dreams? Yes,
That's true.
Dream.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah, of course it is.
So guys, team battle on Scramble during the break. Come and join us with the passkey ESL 123.
Wait. No. Make it rooftop. Sorry, no, not rooftops. Overtime. You promised me a game of overtime.
Too freaking bad. We're here now. I didn't make any promise.
You did. Of course you did.
I hold myself not legally responsible. Have we had any Scramble today? I can't remember.
We've had plenty of Scramble. We haven't had a single game of overtime, and we're not gonna have a single game of overtime.
Jeez. Jeez. I'll tell you what. Since no one's in here as of yet, just for you.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna make a habit of this. There you go.
Thank you.
So disregard any of those global chat invites you might have seen, because they're not going to work anymore. Let's get one more game going. Alright, there we go. Boop, 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 boop. New invites going out to Macari, NG Bot, and to Valentina. Come and join us, guys. This could well be our last community game of the stream, so you don't want to miss out. A chance to impress not just us, not just the other people in the game, but potentially this could act as a job interview for you to get onto one of these MC5 teams and get your share of that prize money. Speaking of prize money, of course, for any of you guys who are dropping by the stream, these weekly competitions is not what is all that is on offer. Tell us, what do the teams get? You know, if they compete in weekly competitions, where can they go from there?
Well, obviously, we will have monthly finals happening every month, more or less. Sometimes there's like, it goes a week over, sometimes it happens like every 3 weeks. But we aim to have a monthly final every month, kind of it. And obviously, when you play in these weekly or bi-weekly tournaments, you gain go for points. And ultimately, you can use those go for points to get a good placement going into our monthly finals, where you can then earn better prizes than the weekly and bi-weekly tournaments.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's $100 or €100 for each of the tournaments on iOS, $500, €500 for the monthly competition. And the credits prizes for PC and Android are a lot bigger as well. So guys, this isn't just about playing in one competition and doing well, but it's being consistently good enough to be counted amongst those top 8 who make it to the heady heights of a grand monthly finals. Murder Blitz, welcome.
Murder Blitz? Is that the Murder Blitz from the stream?
I'm certain it is.
It probably is. Well, welcome to not only the stream, but also to our community game, Murder Blitz. Happy to see that someone from the stream is actively taking part of it as well.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of familiar faces in here, no doubt, no doubt. If we can grab just one more player, we'll get things started.
Ooh, I actually think we just got a pass key.
Oh, no. Well.
So, once again, we tell a lie, but you know what? I'll keep an eye out for when the lobby is up, and then you can start the game.
Alright, so guys, we'll get this one started now, because if we don't start now, we will not be able to start it at all. It's sounding like we may well have the grand finals for you momentarily, so enjoy while you can, and we'll see you guys in just a few moments' time. It's time for the grand finals. IMF and Engrave on Memory heading to the streets. Night falls on these streets, and only one team can survive.
Are you having like a personality disorder right now?
You're right aboard. Maybe.
Also, velkommen zu die stream, Carsten. I believe that was correct German. Though, even though I speak German, I still suck at it.
Well, people who do not suck at anything are our two grand finals teams making their way through best of 3 semi-finals to make it to this point. For Impossible Missions Force, they are our previous tournament winners, beating out Severe in their first quarterfinal and Call of Duties in a full 3-game series. For Engrave on Memory, this will be their first time in the finals, I think, for a while, beating out Armani Exchange. And former Armani Exchange themselves beating out our former finalists, No Players Only Practice.gg. A big chance here for Engrave on Memory. Let's see what they make of it.
I love that you mentioned that Engrave on Memory. They haven't been in the grand final in a long time, kind of fit, because they're going up against long-time finalist IMF. They have been in this scenario for God knows how long and how often. These guys, they have always, well, they are more or less always in the grand final. So EOM, they certainly have a big task ahead of them with them going up against IMF. But if someone can do it, then it is Engrave on Memory. They have been looking good here today.
Yeah, I'm liking what we're seeing here from Engrave on Memory. You said, IMF, a much more decorated squad. But it's not the big difference between the two teams you'd expect. Celine providing that fire support from a long way away. Sophia, we've seen doing some pretty amazing stuff. We'll be back into things again, even on minimal health. We'll still go charging down IMF members.
The two teams, they are being equally good at working together as a squad and picking up kills where they cover each other. We've always praised EOM for being that kind of team where they cover each other's backs, but IMF, they are completely even in terms of assists as well. So counterfeit, I think we have an interesting series on our hands where the two teams, they will complement each other's playstyle, and therefore it should just be even all the way through.
You can see IMF trying to hit into the Engrave flanks, holding for now as we close in that 4-minute mark. You can see Engrave on Memory, they've got members in the center, but they've also got some members out on the streets themselves trying to intercept any IMF offensive move before it happens.
But this score keeps swinging back and forth. Engrave on Memory, they were behind just a minute ago. Now IMF are behind. Counterfeit, I don't want to make a prediction because this could come down to a matter of one single kill. Also, Hero Gaming Simon posting ghosts in the chat. Do you think this game is spooky, Mr. Simon?
Well, Hero Gaming Simon is employing the age-old technique of the spoopometer to tell us how exciting this game is. It's apparently 6 spoops out of 5, and I help but agree. We're coming in on 3 minutes remaining. With the teams dead even, this would be such a massive performance here for Engrave on Memory. They've lost out so many times, getting knocked out, as you said, by these big teams. This is one of the biggest they're facing up against here in the form of IMF.
But it would give them so much momentum if they could take down IMF in the first game. So Engrave on Memory, they're doing everything in their power to take down the Impossible Missions Force. But the Impossible Missions Force, they are used to these impossible missions, and right now they are clawing their way closer and closer to the finish line.
Taco and GG for the side of IMF being the ones who are keeping those deaths down low while still racking up the points. IMF so close to getting this first game victory, but Engrave on Memory grab 2 for themselves. It's down to these final exchanges as Sophia goes charging out. Victory or death?
Sophia needs 2 more kills, sitting at 15 right now. Can Sophia do it? Comes in with that shotgun. Is not able to find anyone as it's completely even 48 to 40. And EOM, they do it. They find 2 kills out of nowhere. They steal away the victory from IMF out of their hands. IMF, they were so close. They got through the 40 kill mark first, but Engrave on Memory. They engraved that memory on IMF's brain, and they say, IMF, you can't win this grand final without going through us.
That is a very impressive thing that Engrave on Memory just did. Not only to come back into that, but they have now done what was not done in the previous tournament, which is take a game off of IMF. The previous tournament, IMF went 3-0 through the grand finals. That is no longer even a possibility. Engrave on Memory, this could be a huge tournament for them, but IMF, they are just getting started here. We'll see what happens. Game 2 of our grand finals coming up after the break. We're back, everyone. Our grand finals continues as IMF and Engrave on Memory clash once more, heading on to Vantage for this important second game.
And now I'm sure that IMF, they must be more than angry going into this game, because they were so close to winning game number 1. But EUM, they just snapped the victory out of their hands. And now IMF, they are down 1 game, but surely looking to pick up their first victory here in this best of 5 grand final.
Yeah, it's time for IMF to reset themselves. As our former weekly champions, cannot afford to let their frustration get the best of them, but we've seen Engrave on Memory, they are here for serious business, and you best not count them out until the game is done.
But as long as EUM is able to, are able to stand their ground and stay even with IMF, then this game should be a fairly close affair. But IMF, once again, taking control of this game early on and taking the lead into their own hands. But it's a fragile one. It's only 3 kills so far. So, not really that big of a lead that IMF, they would want and that we have seen them have in the past.
See that ISAN will lock down those kills, so anytime they come anywhere near, she at the top of the stairs with the BSW knows they can't stand against multiple members from the IMF squad. We'll actually find their way around to get a flank in on the reinforcing members though instead. Taco from the Impossible Missions force at Frenzy and Gigi all with 3 kills apiece. It's a strong looking game for IMF. If they can keep this up, they're in good shape to equalize.
Slowly and surely, IMF, they are taking control over this game. A lot of it comes from the fact that they are getting military support, and Engrave on Memory, they aren't getting that. But Engrave on Memory, they're making sure to just land their shots, and that's all they need to do so far. Military support does not equal a winning game.
Nabs only had the question of when you win, do you get a kill sign in the game? I don't believe so, Nabs only. But that is a good question. You can potentially, well, in the month, if you get all the way to the monthly finals, you can unlock the ESL camos for your team, which can only be earned through ESL competition. So it's kind of the same thing. There's Scythe asked on YouTube, is there going to be a match for everyone? It's fairly unlikely we'll have time for a community game today anymore, just because there's very little time between these ESL games. I don't know if people would want to stay around after the tournament has concluded. We'll see. If a lot of people are asking for it, then maybe, just maybe. But for now, to focus in on the game itself, IMF remain in control. And a lot of that is down to Frenzy's ferocious cog-Ving.
IMF definitely getting a lot of help from Frenzy, but Counterfeit, remember I said that getting military support does not equal a winning game and does not equal that you will be winning? Well, it certainly is a good way of saying, okay, well, this team are getting a lot of military support, and therefore they are getting a lot of help in terms of getting kills. So while my first statement is true, seeing someone like IMF with 14 military support compared to the 0 of Engrave on Memory definitely shows just how dominating IMF they are in this one game, not allowing Engrave on Memory to get any kill streaks going on.
Well, we've seen what Engrave on Memory are capable of if given the opportunity. For Impossible Missions Force representing South Korea, they look to give very few opportunities. For Engrave on Memory, it doesn't even look like they're going to get close in Game 2.
That certainly isn't kind of fitting. Engrave on Memory, they will not be able to snap the victory out of the hands of IMF this time around to steal it and just make the marathon a sprint. IMF, they are angry. They did not want to lose game number 1. So they are coming out and saying game number 2 is certainly ours, and we will be taking this entire grand final if they continue to go this way.
IMF take the momentum back from Engrave on Memory. While it can no longer be a clean 3-0, that IMF performance was certainly impressive. We still got, though, a full 3 games. Yeah, 3 games, I'm thinking that right. No, 2 games minimum, 3 games maximum coming you guys' way. So it's a little late here. But
It's
they look
it's
good.
all right, Counterfeit. Everyone is a bit sleepy, except for Scythe. He's ready to go out and fight some people.
Alright, guys. So, Game 3 coming up, the turning point of our best of 5 grand finals. Can Engrave on Memory dig down deep and find more of that fire that brought them through game number 1, or will the experience of IMF be too much to overcome in a 5-game series? We'll see what happens. Game 3 coming up. This is it, D-List. Turning point, or perhaps breaking point. For EOM, they managed to get the eye-opening first game victory in this best of 5 series. IMF put the boot home in game number 2. It wasn't even close.
Oh, it certainly wasn't kind of fit. And now, in great memory, they come out and pick up the first 2 kills. So IMF, while they got a game number 2 victory, they need to keep it up. They simply cannot allow themselves to lose their momentum right now. But in great memory, they are doing everything in their power to get a good start to this game right here. And finding themselves up by, I believe, 5 kills.
Yeah, we're seeing some of how EOM are going to be playing this match. Controlling the underside of the construction site here. This little place where Sakuntombo is right now can award a team a huge amount of points just because it's hard to see into from nearly anywhere else on the map apart from the sniper's nest they're firing into right now.
But IMF, they are at least fighting somewhat back here against EUM, and they're not giving up. But EUM getting that bomber in definitely gives them a bit of a helping hand right here. But is it enough? I don't think it will be, Counterfeit. There's a long way to go before this game is finally over.
Sheer so far doing an incredible job for the Engrave on Memory team as they look to recover their momentum in this series. You can see from far off, they've got short and long range firepower, do the blue team EOM, to put down the hurting on IMF, but I'm still not prepared, D-List, to give this one right over to EOM. We've seen how dangerous IMF can be.
We certainly have, and there's a long way to go, 5 minutes, Counterfeit. So EUM, they need to keep this up, because if they just give the Impossible Missions Force a finger, they'll take their entire hand. So you need to just keep it up and keep going. And so far, Engrave on Memory, they are doing a good job at controlling IMF here in this game. And I think a lot of it stems from them being able to control Isa N. Isa N, whenever they puff off IMF, they do well as well. And right now, Isa N is having quite a bad game. 3-5 so far.
Yeah, we noticed before Celine, who did just get taken out in that last exchange, was doing a fantastic job of defending that southern sniper's nest. Even with IMF members spawning in right on the nest, just below it, EOM actually just keep on killing those interlopers and extending the lead. I mean, this feels like a real huge game for Engrave on Memory. It could be argued that they stole the first game, but game 3, they are punching back just as hard as IMF punched them in game 2.
They are certainly coming into their own, Counterfeit. They're looking good. They're reaping every single benefit that they could here in this game. And they are controlling the game quite well. In game number 2, we said military support was something that IMF, they had complete control of. And in this game, EUM, they get all the military support they could want. So they're reaping the benefits from that. And it overall seems to be the name of this series. That military support is the way to go and is the thing that will allow you to win games.
Hero Gaming side, we're going to try and show some mercy over on Twitch. But I think there's very short supply of that for IMF here. Swaggering with confidence after the game with 2 win. Really on the ropes here, especially after having a member disconnect. But you mentioned Issa, almost the barometer of IMF success, has started to come alive for them, and maybe that huge lead is looking a little bit less impressive.
We said EUM, they stole game number 1. IMF, they're now making this comeback. They want to steal game number 3.
Hero Gaming rates this 4 pooches out of 5? I'd give it a 5 pooch. This is going to come down to the wire, I think. Yeah, it's crazy. Issa has been stepping up, but it's the whole team pretty much, apart from Frenzy, who's had a bit of a tougher time with things. for IMF, keeping things going, and the score is almost dead even between the two. See, Gia still with an impressive 13 kills, but this could turn back. This could be IMF's game.
Oh my dog, IMF, they're doing this kind of thing. EUM, they were in control for so long, but they are no longer in control. Only one kill is separating these two teams. Never mind that, it's 47-47.
It's a spawning back in again, looking to try and link up with the other IMF members, so they make the move in one shot from EOM and the second. Oh my gosh, that could have been the comeback. But for Memory, they now take one giant step towards their first tournament win in as long as either of us can remember. IMF almost coming back, but almost is not good enough.
But you have to say, with IMF surely making that comeback, they still have the momentum on their hands. They are still looking good. And if I was Engraved. If I was Engraved, I would be shaking right now. I would be scared of going into game number 4 because IMF, despite them losing that game, they are still looking more than deadly.
Hero Gaming, of course, I remember the dogs eating ice cream at commercial. Remember, guys? Don't give your dogs ice cream. It's bad for them. But for IMF, they've got stronger concerns on their mind. Engrave on Memory. They've got a chance to engrave their names into history here. For each of these teams at the top, winning a weekly tournament can seem like, you know, just something that's very much on the cards. For Engrave on Memory, this is their best performance in memory, and they could put that victory home in Game 3, Game 4 even, coming up after the break. Do you believe, Deedless? Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
Do you believe, gentle
What do
audience?
I believe in?
Oh, you didn't even ask the question? Well, that's a terrible response then. Engrave on memory. Do you believe they can get their first tournament victory here against our incumbent champions, South Korea's Impossible Missions Force?
I certainly think they can counterfeit, but I think also that we have a very competitive grand final on our hands, and I don't think IMF, they're gonna fall without throwing us to a fifth game, because with the way that these two teams they have been playing, they are both more than hungry for the title.
The opening minute leaves us dead even between the two teams. We've seen several of these games now come down to the last few moments. For Engrave on memory, one game away for Impossible Missions Force. They need 2 wins in a row to call themselves 2-time champions. Engrave on memory, they're doing a pretty good job of taking the fight to Impossible Missions Force in the center. We can see Jia, one of the big players from before, trying to go for a long-range flank. Doesn't work out in the end, and this could give IMF a chance to get the work done while that big player's off the field.
To 14. The two teams are so evenly matched, but Frenzy gets a big airstrike. So certainly gives IMF a bit more space to work with. If we do get a 5th game, we're gonna go to the museum, and then we can see who's gonna take this game. Right now, Engrave, they're not giving up, but IMF, they are sitting comfortable in the lead, and with bombers and airstrikes coming out, they are looking very, very hot and very much in the contention. In control and in the driver's seat.
Driving right over Engrave on memory. Of course, these maps, which we've been seeing so far in the finals, they seem to have really had a very heavy team focus. We know that teams can never really spend equal time on every single map. They all have their favorites. They all have their optimum situations. Frenzy seems to have found their perfect place. 13 kills so far. We'll go 1 versus 2 and get taken down in that exchange, but maybe has done enough to put IMF into an impossible to catch lead.
IMF, they are just so fast here in this game, counterfeit. We haven't even played 3 minutes, and they are about to reach 40 kills. They have 5 more seconds to do so, but IMF, they are so far ahead of Engrave on memory that I truly believe that the 5th game is going to be so interesting. Who will win? Will EOM or IMF be able to just snap the victory out of their opponent's hands once again? Only time will tell, but right now IMF, they are on their way to winning the 4th game and pushing us to what will be an epic end to this series.
Both semi-finals went to 3 games. Of course, we would be remiss if the grand finals themselves, with the best teams in the tournament, did not do the same.
And there we go. IMF, they find the last kill. Frenzy with the trusty Cock V is able to finish out this game. And Frenzy, 21-9. That being kills and deaths. Absolutely putting up quite a show here in this game, saying that, well, you know what, Engrave, you won game number 3, but you have to go through me if you want to win game number 4, and you are surely not strong enough to do so.
Frenzy, with more kills than the top 2 players of Engrave on memory put together, and a ludicrously strong performance. We'll see IMF tie things up. 1 game remains with 2 victories apiece. The best of 5 finals going all the way to the finish. Let us know, guys. Will it be IMF? Will it be Engrave on memory? A chance for the underdog Engrave team to make their personal history, or will it be all IMF all over again? Find out after the break. We're back. This is it. The museum will bear witness to one team or the other scribing its names into the history books. Will it be engraved on memory with their first tournament win for quite some time, perhaps ever? Or will it be IMF once again fighting a much harder finals than they did last time round, but still, at the end, the results being the same?
Or will it just be a very close game, Counterfeit? We are going to have to wait and see. But one thing is certain. Military support is going to be important for the two teams. They've gotten so many benefits out of getting military support throughout their victories. So if they can get that once again and get off to a good start and grab up those airstrikes and those bombers, then that is going to be a good foundation for whichever team gets those military supports.
You can see that GG, who just got taken out by a long-range shot, has going to be access to some of that military support with those early kills. Of course, we're seeing... Oh, I have to say this. We're not necessarily seeing it from everybody, but we do see a fair few of the assaults bringing in the Berserk to try and double up on that military support and extend the lead. IMF have that lead for now, and they'll be looking to extend it even further.
Right now, IMF, they are sitting in control, about to reach 10 kills. Military support, as I've said, been very important, and IMF right now sitting at 8 military support compared to the 0 of Engrave on memory. And Confed, we asked the question, could Engrave get their first tournament win? Well, in a long time, of course, but will they be able to do so? The question right now is looking like a big no-no, as IMF, they are in control heading into the third minute of this final.
Well, some of the players we'll be looking for as our temperature gauges for each of the teams. Sophia over on the blue squad, EOM currently leading. Very similar score to Issa N. And manages to get 2 more kills through there. We've seen Frenzy from IMF as well, going off big time, but right now it's Issa N grabbing those 2 kills through. Frenzy from the other side, looking to put the final touches to this final game.
Issa N, one of the team captains from the side of IMF, looking unstoppable once again, Counterfeit, and now with a new 10 kill lead, there we go, 10 kill lead coming in from IMF. They are just unstoppable, out of control, and engraved on memory. They are about to be a memory here on the museum walls.
Sophia grabbing 2 before going down in flames. Called it right back at the beginning of the game. It's been the military support for IMF. They've just been slamming in so much extra damage. EOM can't stay on their feet for even a moment. We're nearly up to 40 kills before even the halfway mark is reached.
And Engrave on Memory, they are playing into the strength of IMF. They continue to just fight and fight and fight, and it allows IMF to develop upon this kill lead, to develop those military supports that they are reaping the benefits from. And EOM are not doing themselves a favor at all. But now that comeback is real. 5 more kills, and they will have evened out the score.
But the time is running out. IMF, they've broken the big 4-0. Now only a few steps away from the win. This could, yeah, you're right though, this could be the chance here for Engrave on Memory to get their own military support into action, get those kill streaks running, but Frenzy coming alive, slamming through 2 more. IMF are so close.
Yeah, IMF, they can taste it, but Engrave on Memory, they want to steal away the victory. Once again, 3 more kills and it will be even, but no, IMF, they push it forward. GG and Isa, and they pick up those kills. Who can find the last one? Will IMF be able to finish out things? Yes, they will. Isa N, the team captain, picks up that last kill, and IMF, they will be the victors of this week's Blue Tournament.
What a performance from both squads. IMF reigning triumphant as your 2-time champions. But for Engrave on Memory, they gave them one hell of a run all the way to the finish line.
They certainly did counterfeit, and like we said, military support played a big part of this grand final. It was the deciding factor of more or less every single game, and EUM and IMF, they matched up more or less evenly in terms of their playstyle. They wanted to go hard, they wanted to skirmish and duel all the time, but ultimately IMF, they come out as the victors, as the best skirmishing and dueling team between these two.
Still though, this is the weekly tournament. The monthly tournaments will of course beckon down the line. For Engrave on Memory, they may not have won today, they may not have taken home those $100, but they made it all the way through to the finals. This could be the start of a rise from the Engrave on Mastery, or Engrave on Memory team towards Mastery. IMF, a wake-up call that challengers are always waiting in the wings for their crown. But guys though, that will be the end of our ESL broadcast today. Thanks again to Pap, our ESL admin, for running things behind the scenes, and to Hero Gaming for doing the moderating in the chat and letting everyone know what is going on. D-Link Gaming, congratulations once more to Impossible Missions Force. If you guys haven't already, please do follow Modern Combat on whatever social platform you're watching on right now, be that Facebook, Mobcrush, YouTube, or Twitch. Dealers, if people want to find more about your good self, where is the best place to avert? What's the opposite of avert? Revert? Your eyes.
Well, if you guys would want to stalk me a bit, find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at DeedlessCast. That is with an S at the end. If you want to find Peter, just go to the same platforms, search for Counterfeit Cast without an S at the end.
Yes, and GG, welcome to the chat to drop the GGs. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be back tomorrow in just over 13 hours time for our iOS Red tournament. I did notice, guys, that we need a few more teams signed up for iOS Red tomorrow. So if you know anyone who could sign up because they haven't played in Blue, do get them signed up for the tournament itself. We need you guys to compete. We're trying to give you away free money and competition, but we need you guys to play. So hopefully you'll come and join us for that, either as a spectator or as a player. For now though, again guys, thank you so much for being around here tonight, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow.